So I just had the chance to watch 12 Angry Men for the first time. This was on Amazon Prime, so I had a chance to check this out. And it's a really good film. You know, there's a lot of tense drama. The story sort of unfolds as you watch it. So I thought that was kind of a neat approach to the film. I believe the majority of the film, for maybe except for 5 minutes, it's all in this tiny little room with 12 guys all around a table, and they spend the duration of the film just arguing back and forth to try to find out the guilt or innocence of a man that was just judged. Air conditioner just kicked on. I'm filming this outside. It doesn't matter. I'm doing this as a lark. I have fun talking about films. So 12 Angry Men, yes, there were some instances of anger, but it was almost more like 12 annoyed, frustrated, sweaty men in a small room bickering with one another. And you know, you watch the film and you can't help but think, my goodness, the smell of that room. Everybody looks sweaty and uncomfortable and grisly, and they're smoking and chewing gum and eating cough drops. In your mind, you're like trying to imagine, wow, what did this room smell like? Like old guy, sweat, foot, menthol. I mean, it was just it's staggering trying to think about what it would have been like in the room. I mean, finally, I think it starts to rain and they open some windows, so that kind of builds onto the whole smell factor. Old stale cigarette butt and fresh rain, city smell. All right, I'm getting off subject here a little bit. Okay, Henry Fonda is the star, and basically they start their deliberations, the 12 angry men. 11 of them are convinced in their mind at the beginning, this guy's guilty. Henry Fonda says, no, I think he's innocent. So then the duration of the film is just the unfolding, the exposition of the details of this case. Why does Henry Fonda, why is he convinced that this kid didn't kill his dad? And they go back and forth and back, and it's a lot of interesting character study. You see a lot of different personalities kind of clashing here, and it was very well done. Henry Fonda's great. He's perpetually sweaty through the film. Some of the other characters worth mentioning, there was also Martin Balsam, who is a great actor. I've seen him in Psycho and some other films. He's one of those actors. I watched this film and I'm seeing all these guys. I'm like, I know him from somewhere. I know him from somewhere. So I'm on the Internet Movie Database looking them all up. There was another guy who looked so familiar. It was E.G. Marshall. He was this really cool businessman who didn't sweat at all, except for once. He had one trickle of sweat. And he was in it, and I was like, where do I know him from? He was the president from Superman 2. So, and it's funny, I think of Superman 2 as not that long ago, but in really thinking about it, that was 40 years ago. So right there, I'm feeling kind of old. So John Fiedler is in it as well. He plays this guy with this mousy little voice, and you're thinking, oh, what's he from? And he was the voice of Piglet from Winnie the Pooh. I mean, go figure. So he was one of the 12 angry men. He was in the film as well. That was interesting. Jack Klugman of Odd Couple fame, he was there. Does a really great job. Jack Warden, one of those actors, you see him and you're like, oh, what's he from? And, you know, Crazy Like a Fox, the show back in the 80s, you know, a bunch of other things as well. Lee J. Cobb, I can't think of what I've seen him in, but he makes an awesome antagonist to the film. But you know, of everybody, I think the character I really liked the most was this Joseph Sweeney guy. I looked him up. He's got a familiar face. I've maybe seen him in like Twilight Zone or Alfred Hitchcock Presents or something. But he just plays this very genial, nice old guy who from the very beginning, he kind of gets on Henry Fonda's side to support him. And he just plays a nice guy. He's the only one at the end of the film. I can't give a spoiler here. Okay, I almost gave a spoiler. But the end of the film shakes hands with Henry Fonda. You can read that however you want. I didn't tell you how the film ended, so you still got to watch it. But anyhow, he, of everyone, is the one you can kind of probably relate to the most. He's just a nice old guy. He's there for the trial, taking in all the facts, and he gives a very objective opinion. I won't tell you how it ends, but you'll see. The film is just really good. It's a little uncomfortable. It's a little claustrophobic. But it's a very interesting character study to see how these court decisions are made and why it is important in the whole judicial system to get an objective opinion, to fairly analyze data in a court situation for the fairness of someone who is guilty or innocent, And I thought it was there's a lot to think about with it, and it's a good film worth checking out.